Oh my gosh, big day. Big day, one of the biggest days for me in a long time. Does she ever put that away? Like, does she not know it's gonna rain? Kids, hello? Anyways, need to get her to put that away before we go. We gotta go. We gotta go. By the way, started some more seeds. Not doing anything yet. It's okay. Just started them the other day, so we're gonna see. Y'all remember how well those tomatillos went? We'll try lemons. We're gonna try lemons, see if we can start a bunch of lemon trees, and who knows what we're gonna do with them all, but we're gonna do something with them. So today is a huge day. Big day. Big day. Gotta get the boat. Gotta get the boat hooked up. Gotta get out on the water. Gotta get on the water ASAP. Got somebody to meet. Yeah, we gotta go. Doing a good job, Captain Taylor. Thank you. Tennessee requires masks on boats now, so just trying to. Actually, just kidding. They don't. So yeah, we are gonna go find a drone today. We're gonna go find a drone today. So yes, DJI came back to me and said, "Hey, user error. We know the remote disconnected from the aircraft, but you continue to push the joysticks forward, which caused the drone to go into the water and crash, which then rolled over and dropped. So I'm at fault. Pilot's at fault. So what can you do? Nothing. Whatever. So be it. I'm at fault. That's it. So my next step, what we're gonna do to find the drone is to find the drone. We are gonna find the drone. 100% positivity, optimistic. Nothing but no negative Nancy. Sorry, Nancy, if that's your name, but so I've enlisted the help of a local dive shop. Ray's Dive Shop. We have Alan Williams helping us. Alan is meeting us down at Sequoia. We're gonna go over to the cove. He's gonna dive. I've got him for an hour. I think his rate is like $170 or something an hour. Giving him an hour, he's gonna dive into the cove, see if he can find the drone. Even if it costs me $170 and we find that drone, I'm still better off than buying a new drone. A new drone is $700. So at least if I could find this drone, I could send it back to DJI. I get to file my insurance claim where I get 2 free ones a year, but I guess flyaways aren't considered under that, even though this isn't a flyaway. And the drone, you have video evidence that it sank, you have coordinate evidence that it sank in the middle of the water. DJI, I get it. I'm just frustrated, that's all. DJI is doing their thing, I get it. They have a policy in place, that's fine. We're gonna find the drone and it's gonna get sent back to DJI dripping wet with seaweed on it and whatever else we find. And I'm gonna say, give me my new one, because that's what we're gonna do. And that's how this day is gonna go. We have some weather coming, which is a little sketchy. So hopefully that does not cut this day short on the lake. We got a ton of buildup and thunderstorms are coming this afternoon, they say. So hopefully we're done and out of here by then. But yeah, we're gonna find this drone. All right guys, we got Alan. Alan is here and he's gonna do his best to help us. Crossing our fingers, we're gonna get out there and see what we can find. Looks like the weather held off. We're good. We're gonna go get all this on the boat and then we'll head up there and see what we can get started. All right, so Alan actually lucked out. He was coming out here already for a dock survey, you said?
Yes.
Is that a lot what you do? Is that most of what you do when you do diving, or?
No, it's just periodic.
Periodic stuff?
Whenever people build new docks.
How often do people come to you to ask you to find drones?
This is the second time, actually.
Really? This is somebody else?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I feel good. Okay. Second time. Nice. All right. Exciting. Cool. What, you found anything cool while you're diving ever, just on accident?
Wow, that's a good question.
As everybody thinks that it's like filled with stuff down there that people drop, you know, so.
A lot of the popular boating places, you'll find all kinds of sunglasses and miscellaneous jewelry and things of that nature. And usually you find what you're not looking for.
Right, exactly right. You're gonna find everything. Makes sense, makes sense. So where's the coolest place you've ever dove?
You know, everywhere we go is unique in its own way.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one destination in the world, it would probably be the Red Sea.
Really?
Yeah, the Red Sea is probably the prettiest water, most colorful fish all around.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, because it's surrounded by desert.
Okay.
So you have no runoff. There's very little civilization.
Okay.
So you don't have a lot of industry and pollution.
Makes sense.
And water is just it's probably the clearest ocean water I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Red Sea. I would have never Never thought that. I would think everyone's always like, oh, Bahamas or Hawaii, or you know, because you think of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but
everywhere's nice in its own unique way.
Right.
But if you had to pick one, I would say the Red Sea would probably be on the top of the list.
All right, Red Sea. Didn't know that. Add that to my list. Maybe you'll see that one day. Maybe we'll fly my drone over there. Just keep it out of the water. All right, back in this cove. Y'all have seen this cove before, so this is the last known spot we were at that we saw it go down based on the coordinates, the video, everything else. He's gonna jump in here. He's got this kind of as his marker. He says he does like a rotation around it, and we'll just kind of keep the area of where he's at, you know, kind of keeps him and brings him in. Then he can do the next spot over. So I don't know, cross your fingers now, because this is where it counts. Cross your finger, guys. Cross your finger. All right, so he came up, he goes down, checks the water quality, see how the visibility is. He came back up, said it's poor, it's very hard to see. It's like 2 to 3 feet in front of him. So we moved to his buoy over there, just based off of where we were at the boat, straight that way, and looking this way in the distance, seeing the splash that's so far off of the point. That's my best shot based on the video with those dead trees. These dead trees, that's gonna be my best shot right there. So, oh my goodness. I can't believe we hired somebody to dive to find my drone to send back to DJI to get a new one. I never thought we'd be doing this, but here we are. And we're crossing our fingers. We're optimistic. It is gonna happen. We're gonna find it. Yep. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so he's making his laps around his buoy that he has set up. You see it going in a circular fashion. You'll see bubbles start to pop up. They'll come up over here now, like starts to work his way in towards his buoy, towards the area that we last saw it. So he doesn't see that in this round. This is the hard part. I mean, you could be, you know, 10 feet this way or 10 feet that way, 10 feet that way, and you're off by that much. So it's hard, it's frustrating. But Tay's got her eye on something over there on the shore. She wants to find something. If it's not the drone, she's gonna find that little Oscar Mayer Wienermobile or whatever that thing is over there.
That is not it.
That's what it looks like?
That's not it.
It looks like an Oscar Mayer Wienermobile over there. Right there. We're losing some sunlight because of these clouds, and we got some major spice kicking up back here. So hopefully that stays on our side and stays away from us for a little bit. Go get your Oscar Mayer Wiener.
Okay.
What is it?
It's a wagon.
Is it an Oscar Mayer Wiener? A wagon? Who would have a wagon over there? You actually brought the wagon? Oh, I didn't think you'd bring it. Now you know what it's like to be a lifeguard like your sister. Only she's never actually dove in to save anybody.
Pretty crappy wagon.
Wow. Look at this artifact. Oh my God. Look at that artifact. Well, at least you found something, Tay.
Yeah.
May not be what we wanted, but...
Like iPhones and stuff like that.
Okay, so he came back up. We moved the boat back a little bit just because it was getting in the way of his loop, but he did find these. Where are these? What, are these yours?
I don't know.
Are these yours?
Maybe. Yes.
Taylor dropped these off the back of the boat when we were searching for them, and she couldn't find these. So it's not a drone, but it's something of ours. And that's kind of cool because the other masks are in here, right? All
They're the ones you threw on and you dove in. And
Well, that's kind of a good sign right there. Maybe we're in the right area. We'll see. I think we're about 40 minutes into it. Nothing.
just give them
It's tough because, I mean, we know where it hit. You know where the coordinates are of the last spot, but from there, where it went, no one knows. Like, DJI in their case said that it rolled and then lost contact. So the battery sits on top of a drone. So that's obviously the heaviest part. So when it hit, it just kind of naturally flipped over, I guess. But as someone made a good point too, as it's floating down, you have the propellers, you know, which are going to provide resistance and kind of like a little, I don't know, you want to say like a steering, I guess, or it's just going to catch, right? And it's going to kind of direct where it goes. So depending on the current and where it's going, if there were waves or not, I remember it being pretty calm, almost like this, you know, and you don't think there'd be a current. But then again, once it has momentum and just a little bit of speed from flipping, even, it could have just, you know, even the slightest bit from these two dead trees, which are our point, it could have, who knows how far it could have gone. So this is kind of like the last attempt, and you know, just try to stay optimistic and positive, hoping that we'd find it. And he does teach scuba diving, though. Takes 3 weekends. I think Tay and I are gonna go get certified for scuba because you're good for life. It'd be fun because you can go scuba dive anywhere. Be awesome when you go on like trips and stuff and they have scuba diving available. You can go show your certification, you just do it, and then we end up not finding the drone today. I'm coming back here and I will spend every last minute trying to find this drone to send back to DJI. But he could find it still. I don't know. Maybe he'll find it. Just takes one little move, little right turn, little bam. Come on. Well, he's up. I don't see any victory or cheering. So they said they have a lot of those fish traps down in here, you know, that they bury for the fishes to have like habitats and stuff. So it makes it very hard for him to actually have like a pattern for his search and stay consistent, because he's kind of going up and over these things and trying to look all around. So makes sense. All right, so Alan's back. He said no luck down there. There's, what's it called, thermocline? Thermocline. So you get down about 23 feet, he said. It's clear, you could see it's about 3 feet, but then you get to a point where it switches and the water temperature drops off, and then your clarity goes to about a foot. So there's a big difference in between being able to see, you know, 3 feet versus a foot. That's a big difference down there. So
makes the search pattern a lot smaller all of a sudden.
Right, yeah. And then he's got those fish habitats that he's going up and over down there that you all of a sudden run into, and it's just a tough area. And there's clams, you said.
There are all kinds of freshwater clam shells, and they're about as big as your hand, some even larger. And they're everywhere. And
I had no idea.
It's a good sign of the environment, how healthy it is.
Okay.
But they unfortunately are about the same size as
a drone. So everything looks like a drone. Look at all these people using drones over here. That's interesting. So we were definitely going to hit up certification. Okay. We definitely want to be certified. I think it'd be fun. Just a little thing for us to do together too. It'd be kind of cool, and just explore around. You never know what you're going to find or do or see, and it'd be kind of cool because you can do it everywhere and last for a lifetime. So that's cool. So Ray is diving in Maryville. They do lessons 3 weekends.
3 weekends.
3 weekends, and you're good to go. If you're doing it in summertime, they come out and do a freshwater, no problem. If it's any time October after, they need to go down to Florida just because it's warmer, and that's just to make sure you're knowledgeable and everything. And it's pretty cool. It'd be a fun thing if you've ever been interested in diving. It's something to look at. So, all right, that is us. That is it. We tried. Now we'll just find some more work or something, and save our pennies and try to get a new drone. All right. Well, I can't be mad. There's nothing to be mad about. It was my fault the drone went down. I was the responsible pilot. I can blame it all I want on the screen and not being able to see. Whatever. It's my fault. Nothing but frustration on my end. That's one of the price I pay, just for being, I don't know. I've flown over the water I don't know how many times and done just fine. That one just did not go my way, and a little bit of air, and that's what happened. So that's okay. We'll just regroup, figure out what we're gonna do, how we can make some more money and get a new drone. So the girls, we rushed back we were on a timeline because Tay had practice at 4 for high school soccer, but TSSAA just had their meeting with the governor and basically shot down all of kids' sports in the fall. So fall soccer, fall football. Man, this COVID thing sucks, because this is destroying kids. Like the whole school thing, and now sports, and just this is wild. I don't know if we're gonna close down for influenza, right? We should be closing down for influenza once everyone starts getting the flu this year, right? I mean, it's only proper. We have as many deaths, so I hope they close down. Hope they close down and keep these kids safe from the flu as well. All right, well, at least we beat the storms, so that's a good thing. But looks like we're gonna get a little spice tonight, so that's it for us. Oh yeah, like I said, girls got that email that practice is canceled all of a sudden. They had 2 girls, I guess within the organization, test positive for COVID. They're doing temperature checks, and everyone leans so hard on the temperature checks, and the temp checks means nothing. You could sit in your car, you could stand outside, you can run a temperature just from that and be at 100 degrees easy. Even CDC says it's a waste, because you just can't tell based off of a fever. Like, you can run a fever just naturally, just trying to fight off something. They say the smell test is the best way. It's like 27 times more reliable, I guess, which makes sense, because you never really lose your sense of smell, unless you have COVID, I guess. So, I don't know, frustrating times all around right now. Whatever, we're gonna get through. Hopefully these kids get to play sports eventually. Don't know where this is gonna go, but it's a bummer, that's for sure.